Sort of.
You're listening to the Jay Bird Watching Podcast, the official podcast of jaysjournal.com and fansided.com. We are the official ballroom chat for everything Toronto Blue Jays baseball, from game highlights to rumors and all the stuff in between. Here's your host, Craig Borden, with co-hosts Jason Lyons and Liz McGuire. Now let's talk some Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Hello and good evening, all of you out there in Jaybird watching land. I am your host, Craig Borden. We're here with the usual gang of suspects to talk all things Toronto Blue Jays, and tonight specifically the American League East battle that we are all in for this coming season. It's going to be slightly wild, so as I'm getting feedback from my other microphone here. Anyway, Jason, how you doing, buddy?
Really good. As you can see, right off the grindstone and right into the podcast, and even have a chance to take my shirt off or do anything fun like that, which, you might as well just dive right in when you've got important off-season baseball stuff to discuss. It's sleeting here, which is disgusting. And so just pile it on, eh? Like people say, everyone wants to move to Vancouver. It's the land of milk and honey out here. Don't. It's not. It's depressing and cold and
sounds like Rochester, New York here. Just saying. So, Liz, I know you're dealing with the same horrible weather that I'm dealing with on the other side of Lake Ontario. How the heck are you?
I'm good, man. It's cloudy. It's +1 today. In what Celsius? I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. I can't do the math. But
4 million.
Yeah. So things are good, man. I'm curious to what the frig is going to happen with Bo Bichette. I'm generally pleased about what's going on in the off season. I think that's it, man. I'm just like in it. When we compare last year again to this year, I'm breezy, man.
There you go. And Liz, seeing you actually know our guest, why don't you do the introduction?
Yeah, man. So Jonna, she runs Babes Media, which is the greatest company name of all time. Yes, it is from Babe Ruth, but it's also a tribute to the fact that she is a babe, and women all over are also babes. I don't discriminate in terms of babes. We're all our own babes. And she was kind enough to join us here. I've been on her pod, and we're gonna chop it up at the AL East. She is a diehard Yankees fan. In fact, there's pictures of her as a young child just decked out in Yankees gear. A true fan, a true believer.
Welcome to the show.
What a wonderful intro. Thank you so much.
So what's on your mind? Why don't we just dive in and start with, the wonderful news here that, the Toronto Blue Jays have signed a Japanese monster hitter potentially in Kazuma Akamoto. I don't know what you all have heard. I don't know what you all have seen. There's very contrasting Major League Baseball analysis on this gentleman. And I don't know what I'm sifting through some of this, but I do feel like the Blue Jays might have stole something in the midst of this whole thing because he has a lot of upside. Jonna, I don't know what you were thinking as far as what you've seen from this gentleman in the sports media so far this evening.
Yeah, adding a power hitter like him to what is already like an incredible lineup. Literally you're losing Bo Bichette, right? But like he wasn't even really a piece of the postseason. Well, yeah, not necessarily losing.
We don't know. And is Santander count? I also don't know.
Yeah.
Or is that?
Not really.
But like he wasn't even really a piece of the puzzle. So we're talking about a World Series team and then adding this power hitter, like literally the best hitter in the Nippon League to that lineup. That's insane.
I think one of the coolest things has got to be that one of the reasons he said he picked the Jays was he put all 30 logos in front of his daughter, and his daughter picked the Jays logo. So it's fate. But I do agree with you. I think that just from reading who was interested, Yankees being one of the teams that were interested and others, it seemed to me like the teams that are a little more cerebral in their choices when they are looking at players outside of the majors were the ones that were really in the hunt. His numbers are good. It's consistency that I've seen from him. And if he can move that consistency over into the majors, you're dead on. We've absolutely sniped a guy that, a couple of weeks ago, people weren't even talking about. And now everybody seems to be talking about him, which is usually the MO for the Dodgers. But we'll take one.
Go ahead, Liz.
Yeah, I am spooked a little bit. I don't know how it carries over, right? From the Japanese leagues to the MLB, if that is a guaranteed great situation. I mean, is he old? Is he? Does that count as old? I don't know, man. Yeah, right. So I am concerned. I get spooked about things until they're in front of my face. And even in the middle of the year, I'll get mad and forget that I like them. But in terms of just the putting up the numbers, I am maybe unfoundedly concerned that those numbers won't translate. But even if they translate a little bit, that slaps.
So the big thing on the translating thing, at least from my point of view, is the fact that the Toronto Blue Jays are getting a guy that he doesn't need to come in and be the guy, right?
Yeah.
If you're trying about, inserting something to the point here, trying to replace some aggregate of the offense that you're losing from Bo Bichette, you're not going to get somebody that hits 200 hits. It's just kind of how it is. But if you can swap in somebody that's going to hit 20 home runs somewhere in the 60, 70 ballpark of RBIs, that might be replaceable. And we didn't have really an everyday third baseman. As much as we all love Ernie Clement, that probably isn't his best position. He's a shortstop by trade. I think he is just insanely talented to be able to play second base. And I think that's where he's going to end up with post this, signing. And I think it just spells out how productive he can be at second base for this team going forward. And now you have an everyday third baseman who, in the video I've seen, I think his defense is sorely underplayed.
Yeah, I agree with you there too. I mean,
I saw him come out of that slide, the literal slide that he came out of, the childhood playground slide, and I liked that. And I liked
Ernie. That. That was awesome. It was literally like you said. It's came right out of the slide, and it's just here I am. Good luck. So I know Chris Ripley's actually. Have you seen the painting online that he's been working on from that slide? It's really cool that he does all the Blue Jays artwork and stuff. So, but that's the news in Blue Jays land, and everybody is talking about it. Doesn't matter if it's our friends over at the Foul Territory podcast, this thing, that thing, Major League Baseball Network. The Blue Jays are all of a sudden once again the talk of the town. And the next piece of this whole thing is it sounds like the Blue Jays are still not done, which is very seemingly crazy for all us Blue Jays fans that have no idea what a pocketbook really is.
Nah, man,
because
yeah,
we don't spend money like this. It never happens. And
well, I think
it's funny we were getting called out on our TikTok account the other day for I put that video out, you saying, Liz, that you wanted the Blue Jays just to finally dominate something for a change.
Yeah.
And the amount of hate from all the Dodgers fans came through on that. It's you just want to be like us now?
Well, you know what? Here's my thoughts on this. I remember when the Dodgers were buying all the players, and I thought, we have the money to buy all the players. I mean, now, okay, for some context here for our American friends, Rogers owns everything I do. They own my cable, they own my phone, and I work for the Ted Rogers School of Management. Rogers is everywhere. Outside of the stadium, there's not a statue of Joe Carter, not a statue of Jose Bautista, but of Ted Rogers. What? Anyway, and they bought it. They just bought it. Anyway, but my point is that I give them so much money, man. Please buy me a World Series. Just buy the World Series. And because I think they're the second or not first, the richest owner in baseball in terms of not being owned by a family, but being owned by a giant corporation. I would say a monopoly, if you will. Yeah, I don't know, man. I want them to buy me a World Series. I don't, but that being said, in my rant, I don't know when all the deferred payments come into call. I don't know what that looks like. Do you have to be bad for 10, 15 years? I don't want that either. Anyway.
Yeah. There it is. How very bold of Dodgers fans to come in your comments like that. Because this is the game they've been playing. Everybody just needs to get on their level, I guess.
And to that point, I do feel like that's just where baseball is heading. It's just this is the second round of escalation. We all saw this in the 90s where the Red Sox and your Yankees were doing that same thing. It's just you've picked a couple of different teams. And in general, we've seen all the teams in the American League East doing some level of trying to add this year. And it has been, to that point, very interesting to watch. And we're going to just continue to see that, I think. I really think that this is just the next wave of where contracts and things are going, especially in whatever the hell happens to this next collective bargaining agreement, which we all know is just a dice roll away at this point to see what chaos turns in. and we'll go from there. Jason, you got something on the mind, obviously.
Well, I mean, I think when we started talking about this way back, I mean, I think the Juan Soto was the first part of this weird dominoes to start falling. And then, we're talking about Ohtani money, and then we're talking about, guys like Kyle Tucker, is going to get paid an insane amount of money. And I mean, where do we draw the line at what a baseball player's value is? Because the game isn't drawing in a ton more money than it was even 5 years ago. I mean, obviously, everything increases based on ticket value, all that other crap, and there is some TV money in it, but not like basketball. So when does the rubber hit the road on this, and we just sort of say, whoa, okay, we can no longer afford to spend or extend? Like, what's the next deal? Is the next deal past Kyle Tucker going to be a 30-year deal? You know what I mean? Like, are you signing guys until they're 75 just to be able to mitigate paying them, $500 million or whatever?
Bobby Bonilla lives a very nice life still, just saying.
You know that Bobby Bonilla Day it's the day before my birthday, so it's awesome every day.
I love Bobby Bonilla Day.
But it's to me, it's just starting to get to the point, and I agree with you, Liz. Like I'm surprised in the past the Jays haven't stepped up and attempted to buy a World Series before. And
I think they tried. Nobody wanted to come here. Nobody wanted to. You know what I mean? So,
and to
Dodgers
fans, we did spend. You spent on AJ Burnett, BJ Ryan, Miguel Bautista, and all those years, and the unfortunate, this logo year.
Yes. And we have. I mean, we have had our chances, but I think that everyone's sort of taking a step back at this, and I think this is why we're not seeing the movement on Bichette and on other guys right now. Is the teams are just like, holy shit, like what are we doing here? Like, we're gonna get to a point where Ohtani's gonna own the Dodgers, and like guys will, to finish out their contracts. And I mean, this happened to Wayne Gretzky a little bit when he was done. He was owed so much money by the Phoenix Coyotes that they just said, well, we'll make you the coach for a bit. Is that cool? And he was like, yeah, that'll do. Folded. But it's not gonna pay my bills. And so then they had to keep paying him, and eventually they're now in Utah. So I mean, you hit a point. Yeah,
the market will correct itself. It's just like anything else, and we even saw that since all the crazy late 2000s, early 2000s spending and everything like that. That it leveled out for a while. Only major stars like Bryce Harper became the selection deal, right? So it'll figure it out. And to that point, I do think, Jason, to your point, that's why exactly Bo Bichette and Kyle Tucker are not. And did you hear the little jab that Scott Boras said during the presser yesterday with Akamoto? And it was just, hey, by the way, the market's frozen because Ross here won't pay anybody.
Yeah.
Which it is what it is.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think some teams are already starting to try to push back a little bit. I don't know. Sorry, guys, if I'm lagging on my end a little bit.
You're good.
Okay.
It's okay. It's probably the weather all around you coming together to make your internet poor. Well, for some reason, we're in some fine.
She lives in a nice place.
It's the heat wave that I'm
in.
Yeah. So let's dive into your Yankees.
No, I
for
think some teams are pushing back, like the Mets. Like the Mets are saying, we're not giving out any deals right now over 3 years. Like the Yankees, I think, are obviously pushing back on these kind of deals. So I think we are going to see teams are starting to push back on that a little bit.
Like, was Soto a bust? Is that a deal where they spent a lot of money and it just didn't work? Because I think with these deals, if we just see one not work out, everybody realizes, oh yeah, we got to be careful.
Yeah, but you got to stay. That's the problem. The Dodgers have created this weird hemisphere where if you aren't either the luckiest team to ever play baseball, or you don't spend the money, you don't even have a chance anymore. Like, I mean, the level is so high of the all-star teams that they're creating, and the Jays are guilty of this right now, as anyone else is. And so, I'm not going to sit up on my high horse and say that, well, we shouldn't do this. But is it not time for a team like the Angels or the Pirates or the A's to start spending some money and at least make themselves competitive? Because, I mean, the Dodgers and the Jays are 2 injuries away from being 5th in their division. it's that happens if two big names go down.
Personally, I think the A's should.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, and they got the Vegas money coming.
I don't know.
We had you.
And like they have all these young stars right now. Like they got to capitalize on these young stars, Kurtz and Wilson, and
yeah.
Is Lawrence Butler? Is he an A?
Yep.
He's cute. Oh, he's cute. He interviews good. He's cute. I don't know if he's good or not.
He's getting there.
And like they don't even have a name. Also, I'm going to take this off path. The A's lost the challenge to like, what is it? To copyright Los Angeles Athletics. Las Vegas Athletics. They are nameless.
Well, I think they'll go Aces. Like, I think they'll go something that's really close to it so they can keep a similar logo. And then my
colors.
thinking, just based on what I've seen from Vegas, what they normally do is I think they'll make the colors somewhere in between the Golden Knights and the Raiders. And then they'll have the Kelly Green to go back as their, they'll bring them out and people will just go. I mean, it's such a great jersey and a great color scheme.
The colors are gorgeous.
So they bring it back. And people will just, buy a million jerseys. Ricky Henderson jerseys will sell out until the cows come home and,
Yeah. So in the comments, we got our first one here about our stat correction for the night. We got, Soto had it down here at 483 home runs, 105 RBI.
Whoa. Yeah.
Chris Benoit's right. That's weird. Yeah. That's a weird handle.
Yeah, it's a weird handle.
I hope that's not his. If that's his real name, that's a real heavy piece of irony.
But on that note, like I said, I think it is getting that point where it's eventually going to self-correct. And the A's, that is a crazy story, Liz. I didn't know that one. That's a fun one.
Yeah. There's two reasons. I don't know. There's a rumor that like either they didn't have enough kind of presence in the city or the name was too generic to copyright.
Interesting. So, but that's fun. Like I said, that's almost like here's somebody swooping in and stealing the internet website name from somebody and saying, sorry, too bad, you want to pay me.
That actually happened with Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen is brucespringsteen.net for that very reason.
So anyway, let's talk this division scene. We are already almost 20 minutes into the show. Everybody hit us up in the comments. We are having a wonderful time. Got a bunch of you already in there listening and chit-chatting with us. And hit us up with some questions on the AL division that we're going to be talking about here. So let's talk Yankees first and give you a chance to talk a little bit more. What is going on in New York? Because this is not the Yankees offseason that we typically tend to see. And I'm a little confused.
I got nothing for you. I think we're all as confused as you all are. It's like, are they holding out for the inevitable lockout, or like what's happening? Or is Cody Bellinger and Scott Boras holding everything up? It's like, which one is it? So yeah, I don't know. I think they're all in on Cody Bellinger. I think they're waiting to see what happens there before they pivot, I guess.
Yeah. On paper, though, the Yankees are still the Yankees minus Cody Bellinger right now, and you're going to get this season back. You're going to get pitcher back in Garrett Cole, who is always a thorn in the Toronto Blue Jays' side. Whether it's just starting a fight or whatever it might be, and pitching very, very well. But you're going to get some pieces back, too, and you're going to get a whole season out of Luis Hill. So the pitching was a piece last year. That was a problem.
Well, sort of, but So the biggest issue is honestly the bullpen. But I think this year is scary because we don't know what Garrett Cole we're going to get, right? Like we have no idea if he's actually going to be solid or not. But other than that, we have Carlos Rodon and Clark Schmidt out until June. So we've got to get a starting pitcher at least
Max
one.
Max Fried has not looked great. I mean, he's had his moments, but he certainly is not. He's not putting the fear into anybody that's coming up to face him that I think the Yankees anticipated getting. Pitcher. Yeah,
but he had a good season.
I kind of disagree because he had an excellent season, like most wins in the league. I I don't think Max Fried's are a problem for us. I'm excited for him to be back. Obviously, Cam Schlittler was a huge surprise for all of us. We got Will Warren. We have enough pieces that can fill in. But yeah, Luis Hill will have, but like, again, he's another guy that you don't know what you're going to get. So it's a little up in the air right now.
And this is kind of hot off the presses a little bit because it happened right before we went on the show tonight. I know the Yankees were trying to steal Edward Cabrera from the Miami Marlins, and I honestly thought that was just going to be a done thing, and it wasn't even a thought. As much as you probably don't want to see some certain players, I figured that was a Jason Dominguez for him, and it was just done. And it was going to be very similar to the package the Cubs just gave. But unfortunately for you, he is moving over to south side or north side of Chicago.
But hearing that the Cubs had to give up their number one prospect like makes me feel a little better, because like, what were we going to have to give up for him?
I think you would have had to give up somebody major league ready in that equation, because it's not that you guys have a bad farm system, but there's only so many of those standout people in any baseball organization. And I just can't believe the Cubs have done that 2 off seasons in a row now, and they got nothing out of the Kyle Tucker thing.
I know. It's crazy.
We've got some prospects that, like, you know, I mean, you never know. You've got your Will Warren and your Cam Schlittler that come up, and I know we've got some guys in our system that they trust, like Carlos LaGrange. He's one of the best in the minors, right? So I know that they've got some guys in the system that, like, plan B, if we have to go to them until like May, June, whatever, I think we'll be okay if we can just snag one starter, right? Like, or at least an innings eater. We have Ryan Yarbrough too, who is such a big piece of our bullpen, and he'll step up as a starter in the meantime too. Yeah. So
you're welcome for that one.
Yeah, I don't know, but we would all feel more comfortable with 1 or 2 starters.
What is your thoughts on Boone?
Like, I mean, everybody asks me this. I think Aaron Boone's a puppet, if I'm being honest. I don't blame him for a lot of the issues that we have. He's made a lot of dumb, like, bullpen mistakes, right? Like game 1 of the World Series last year. But, I mean, there are just some things that I think we have to blame our analytics team. The Yankees are such a heavy analytics. And so, in my opinion, it's higher up the chain than Aaron Boone. It's Brian Cashman. It's the analytics department. I think Aaron Boone gets a lot of hate, and the guys obviously love him. Like, all the players, Aaron Judge will go to bat for him. So I just think that he gets a lot more flack than he probably deserves.
Yeah, the Jays were like that. Like with the nerds wrecking everything. That was, remember, like, do you guys remember when was it Wild Card Game 2 they pulled Barrios, and Schneider was like, I didn't make the call, and the head office was like, oh, we didn't do it.
Well, we didn't do it.
Liars. You liars. Those nerds made that call.
Yeah.
So I got a couple of good ones here in the comment section per the Yankee discussion here. And one of them here is, I forgot about this, but goodbye to our Staten fellow Mets fan, Cullen here. Lucas Giolito and him were actually, teammates. That would be a fun signing. And he had a pretty good little bit of resurgence there at the end of the season for the Red Sox. So that would be an interesting one to see what his contract even would look like.
I can see that. I like that. I mean, I think Matt Blake is very confident in his abilities to turn a guy around too. And he has done that. Look at Luke Weaver. Like, dude thought his career was over, right? And then all of a sudden he was the best closer in baseball. Last year he had an injury that really turned things south for him. But I feel like, I don't know. I trust Matt Blake. I like it.
Is there anybody that you are like dying to see the Yankees pursue in that pitching thing, or even the bullpen, or what's your dream get for the Yankee fans right now outside of Cody Bellinger, I assume?
Well, the dream get for anyone is Paul Skeens, right? But that's not happening.
It's a room. Was it
Okay,
not?
maybe I should have said like, you know, at least read some level of dual.
Based in reality.
Realistically. Okay, so the Yankees have had their eyes on Alcantara for years, right? Like I think the biggest thing might be they're worried about his injury history, but like what pitcher in the league these days is not a ticking time bomb? Like it's the way of the game now. So I don't know. At this point, if they could snag him, that would be great. But I just don't know if the Marlins are going to be willing to give. Like, I think that the hang up with the Marlins is always that they just want so much from us.
Yeah.
I mean, if they just got a number one prospect for Cabrera, like, what are they going to want for Alcantara?
Yeah, a former Cy Young winner. It's still under what 2 or 3 years team control, I think, too. So it's not like it's just a little blip on the radar. But to that point, you would still be buying low a little bit on Alcantara.
I could see I don't know, Freddie Peralta would be obviously an excellent addition. So it'll
that
be
man has figured something out.
Yeah.
But so good stuff. So. Obviously, I think your offense, though, is still looking pretty good, or at least it's anchored by the reigning 3-time MVP now, correct?
3-time, yeah.
Liz likes him enough to the point that he was very nice to the family.
I do like him. I like to see him walk. I like it when we walk him.
I think most people like him. I think that's the interesting thing with Aaron Judge. I think Aaron Judge has generally been the first Yankee that's kind of universally liked. Like I mean, obviously there's going to be some places where you go and they're just idiots, but I think universally most people can appreciate the fact that he's an awesome hitter, one of the best ever, and he seems like a really nice, genuine guy. And so I think when you put that together, and also he looks like he's 12. Like if you don't look at everything, if you just look at his face, he looks like a little kid. So you can't. You're like, nah, I'm not really going to get mad at that. Look at that guy. Look at him way up there. But you know,
he really is he's a big teddy bear.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's that can be detrimental too. Like there are a lot of Yankee fans, and it's not just Yankee fans being like spoiled brats. I mean, look, like we are so lucky to have Aaron Judge, but there are times where we just need him to have a little more Jeter in him, where he tells the guys like it is, right? We need him to be brutally honest, which is what I think Giancarlo Stanton brings to the table to us at this point, because, right, he's very inconsistent these days for us, but that's one thing that he brings that is invaluable, that kind of leadership.
Yeah, and you can see that a little bit across the diamond too. But to that point, that was some of the Blue Jays' problems for millions of years. And honestly, guys, 2015, that's what really was the Josh Donaldson effect, with him kicking everybody in the ass a little bit. But sometimes it does take that Giancarlo Stanton, that veteran or whoever it might be, to be the, shot in the arm to keep everybody moving. And then you have the contrary to that in the fact that you have somebody like Judge that is he strikes me as the main mentor in that locker room. Everybody's looking to him for that lead by example type, but he doesn't, to your point, maybe be the one that is the push at the same time. Very lead by example, it looks like. I don't know if that's just my thought.
Yeah.
But
I think he's so painfully humble. Like his parents just raised this most humble, genuine, kind person that I don't think he has that mean bone in his body to be the mean guy when he needs to be. So he's everybody's best friend.
I think it's wildly interesting. And I mean, this is just a dichotomy of and this is why I love baseball so much. The dichotomy of the fact that the leader of the Yankees is too nice is mind-boggling. He's too nice for the fans.
Define irony moment.
I would think right now, if I had to pick a leader for the Jays, I'd say it's George Springer. That would be, I think, would you guys give me that one?
Yeah.
So
yeah, no problem there.
Again, George Springer couldn't be a nicer guy. And I'm sure he loses his shit when he gets in the room every now and again, gets in the dugout, but you don't really see it. I mean, he really does genuinely seem like a really nice guy, and the kind of guy that if you're in a slump or something like that, he would come up and take you out for an ice cream cone or, something like that rather than go kick your stall over. So I just love the dichotomy because I feel like there's teams like Atlanta that need that same thing. Like they need the kick in the ass. Philadelphia needs Bryce Harper to be an ass to allow them to whereas, a fan, some of the Dodgers don't really need that. And their fans don't, like, if there was somebody that was losing their marbles, they would kind of turn on them. But it's a very interesting thing.
It is. It's a really good point. But like that is the leadership style, or was the leadership style of George Steinbrenner that rubbed off on, Derek Jeters and that's the same mentality that like Michael Jordan had too, right? Or Kobe Bryant. It's like you win or nothing, right? Like we win or it's nothing. And that's what it has to be, I think, sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the Blue Jays finally figured that one out this year. And Jason's a big fan of the show Shoresy. You don't hate losing enough. You got to figure it out. Yeah. So let's dive into some of the other teams that are on the periphery of both of our favorites here on this show. And I want to talk particularly in one, and that is the Baltimore Orioles are in a very, very, very odd spot. Everybody expected them to be one of the best teams in the American League East last year, plagued by injuries. Their start to the 2025 campaign literally had a embarrassment of riches on their injured list. They had a whole 5-man starting rotation on the injured list to start the 2025 run, and it just was not a good time for them. They come back this year, retooled, refreshed with all their young players, Jackson Holiday, Gunnar Henderson, and company. And this offseason, they have found a way to add to what was a really ravaged, pitching rotation. They add the polar bear to come a little bit south and hang out in Baltimore and Pete Alonso. They have made some really, really good moves to accentuate a very, very good Major League Baseball team already. I don't know who wants to run with the ball first, but
yeah. Well, it's wild when you look at their subtractions to their additions, right? Like who have they lost? Like Grayson Rodriguez, right? Which is like kind of a significant loss. But then there's like Gary Sanchez potentially on their free agent list. And then when you look at their additions, it's absolutely insane. You're adding in some veteran pieces too that I think are going to be such a great addition to the babies that they have there, right? And some of these guys have been around a little while now. Rutschman and Henderson, right? They're in there, they're a few years in now. So the leadership that they're going to bring to the table, but they're still young enough they can learn from a guy like Pete Alonso. I mean, now you're adding in all these arms. They're scary.
Yeah. We got one in the. Yeah, go ahead, Jason.
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, I feel like Baltimore is a really interesting duck. Their young talent is strange to me. I feel like they've got nothing but, they've got nothing but, positives. And then you watch their games and you watch these young guys kick the ball around and turn on each other a bit. And, you're like, really? You guys are 5 or 6 of the most talented young players in the league. And I don't know if it was I don't know if Santander was kind of the glue that was holding that team together a little bit based on senior leadership, but
maybe.
Just watching them last year, and I understand they struggled with losing that much pitching and all the rest of it. They made a shitload of errors. For guys who are expected to be Gold Glovers and top of their position and all of the rest of it, they moved the ball around a lot. And I don't know. I find it interesting when they just didn't have, to our just point just a second ago, maybe they didn't have the iron fist putting them down a little bit and keeping them on the grind a little bit more. And so as they get a little farther away from it, they're like, oh, whatever. So I'll be really interested to see what the Orioles look like this year because, they remind me of the Royals. Aside from having Perez as that sort of senior statesman, I think if the Royals didn't have him, they'd be the same. They'd come off the rails. They'd be making a ton of errors. And I don't know. Interesting.
To your point, they had that true north, right? This is the person that's guiding them. You have the compass pointing in the right direction.
Right.
The one that scares me the most in that lineup coming back healthy this year, and this is the weird one too, because the Orioles have kind of almost signed one of their rookies long-term right underneath his feet, and that's Adley Rutschman.
Yeah.
He has always been such an insanely good hitter. You could tell that he never got his feet underneath him last season after being hurt in the spring. And there's a couple years, was it 2 years ago that he was just raking in the home run derby and just putting on a show from both sides of the plate, which nobody really does. and he's always done that in the regular season too, and has been that leader. But they now have this young kid named Sam Basallo that is just insanely good too. And they have insanely two good talented catchers in that organization. And it might be nice to have them just tandem back and forth DH and catching, and they both last the whole entire season and just rake at the plate. But it'll be interesting to see how that dynamic really, really, really lands everything out, But
yeah,
the Orioles are going to be an intriguing to watch this year.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. I think too, though, they've had a lot of things to iron out with their leadership. They've had a lot of leadership changes the last few years with ownership and like all these managerial changes. So I think now having like a year under their belt with that, I think that definitely probably played into some of the shenanigans we were hearing with their clubhouse.
Yeah,
definitely. It's amazing how just some of those little toxic things continue to just, leach into all the wrong places and really erode everything. But that's a great point. Very, very good point. So does anybody else have anything I would like to put the cherry on top on the Baltimore conversation before we move on to some other?
The Orioles, they just looked so brand new last year. I think that was it for me as well. Like it looked like everybody's kind of first day, and it reminded me a bit of the Jays a couple of years ago when you could have all this young talent and promise. When you put them together, it's like
Good deal. Yeah. There it is. So going forward, I'm just going to go down the ranks a little bit here too, because we'll get to the team that just drives all of us completely insane to put the end on it. And let's just talk the Boston Red Sox. Obviously, Jonna, you got the main rivalry in all things Major League Baseball and sports in general. Everybody knows about that rivalry. The Red Sox have added just enough this offseason, building off some good things that they had going. But to that point, I don't know if I'm seeing terribly anything different there, but last year they found a way to surprise a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, I think, having a kid like Cassius hurt for the most part, for the last couple of years, even, they've got some really good talent on that team. But again, they kind of, they've struggled when they needed to be good, and they've been good when it hasn't really made any difference. And so, I mean, if they can keep that up, then all four of us will be happy watching them sort of flounder in third or fourth place. But I mean, they're going to get full seasons. Last 4 years have been so weird for them.
Yeah, they don't seem like they have the same identity. And then you have what could be their new identity really moving in, and they're past the Rafael Devers drama and whatever was going on there.
I forgot about that. Yes.
Yeah, that's a good point. But they're so confusing to me because I feel like they subtract somebody, but they only add enough to fill in that subtraction, and they just do the bare minimum. It feels like to me. So it'll be interesting to see if they get Bregman, then we're talking about a different team. But right now, they do not look better than they did last year. Wilson Contreras, he doesn't get there for me.
No, it helps move the needle maybe for the pitching staff to maximize a little bit, but they did pretty good last year. So, okay, great. That translates maybe to a couple of extra wins than what they did last season. Not to your point, completely moving the needle. The thing that if I'm in Red Sox Nation and I'm just, pretending I'm in that nation for a minute, the only thing that really gets me excited is I'm going to see Roman Anthony and Marcelo Mayer play a full season. And those two rookies were playing really, really well, and both unfortunately got hurt at the end of the season and didn't get to play out the rest. But really, really cool stuff to see.
Yeah.
I just love seeing young prospects. Doesn't matter whose team coming up and having the stories that we have. Not every person's a Davis Schneider story that we get to hear and love, or Ernie Clement that we love from the Blue Jays, or seeing what Aaron Judge turned into for you over the course of his rookie season and everything. It's always just something fun to watch. And me being around here in Rochester, New York, I get the pleasure of seeing all the minor leaguers come through here, and I get to see plenty of those Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders.
Yes,
so,
we love our Rail Riders.
But to me, that's the one that pushes the needle for the Red Sox this season, especially if they don't bring Alex Bregman back. What are you going to get out of those two gentlemen for the Red Sox?
Well, and don't you guys agree that the Schwarber deal was weird? Like, why would seems like such a strange thing for them to go after to acquire. Like, and why would he go? Like, I guess he's getting paid, but why would you leave? Why would he leave Philly?
Wouldn't leave. I wouldn't have left. I don't know. If something was weird, he seemed like they had a good thing going there. It always felt like Philly. I know we're going off again, but Philly was just on the cusp of something. And I like Bryce Harper. I wanted to see him get a ring at some point. They're like usually my playoff teams to cheer for, but I don't know why. I don't know why I leave, but I guess it's just money.
Who knows?
Yeah,
they have their own little murders row there, in Philly with Real Muto and Schwarber and Harper. Why would he leave that?
No idea.
Yeah. Not to mention the city of brotherly love literally worships the ground that Schwarber walks on.
Yeah,
I couldn't even imagine. So the last team that we get to talk about, like I said, the pesky, always the thorn in your side, the Tampa Bay Rays. And then we have to deal with our favorite thing in the American League East this year once again, and that is they will be once again playing games, it looks like, at Tropicana Field.
Take it back to the ocean. Fuck the Trop. Fuck the Trop. I asked a Blue Jays reporter, I was like, hey, what does the Trop smell like? And they were like, it smells like a wet tent. And I was
it smells like cinder blocks and shame a little bit to that point, but I've been there. But
and Randy Rosarena, he play. Where's Randy? Randy plays for who's Randy with now?
Mariners.
Okay. He was with Tampa, right? He was a Tampa guy.
Yep.
Yeah. When
he was the Yankee killer.
When they got rid of Randy, I was like, thank fucking God. Because Randy was a guy, I was like, Randy, drop that ball. And he never did. And it felt like the Jays especially, it's like, go on this journey. It's like you're walking down the street and you're carrying something and you see your ex and you drop everything, right? And that was Tampa with the Jays. We could have it together, be great, and then lose 17-0 to fucking Tampa. The Tampa Bay Rays, who are so limp. I'm going to start slimp dick. They don't even have a real logo most of the time. It's a ray of fucking light. Get out of here. Anyway, that was my rant. I don't know. Do the Yankees have a similar situation with the Rays?
Oh, they are. They're so pesky. And like my dad always says, you cannot count the Rays out.
Yeah. My rule is always you can't outraise the Rays because they always find some way.
What the Rays have done, and they've always done it, is they've always picked athletes over position players. They can put somebody in, but they want to bunt, they want to steal bases, they want to hit balls into the gap. They want their outfielders to make it look like the ball's going to hit the ground to shatter your soul when they easily get to it and catch it. So, and they kind of go back and forth between loading up their infield really solidly and, forgetting about the outfield, or vice versa. And this year I was just looking at their lineup, and it is an absolute, just a total mixed bag of guys you've never heard of. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen so many on a major league roster where there's no picture attached to the guy's name, which I assume is not a good thing. Like,
they're going to dominate us randomly, but I don't want it.
If at 54, I decide
it's the movie
to go back
Major League. Yeah. It's the movie Major League in real life. Don't worry about it. They're going to just find a way to own all of us, and they won't end up moving the team like they've been threatening for how many damn years. And
like, when did Cedric Mullins get there? Like, was
this
it
season
last year?
No, he got free agent this year. They actually paid Cedric Mullins.
Wow, that's weird.
It's weird.
Anyways, I mean, it's
probably because Disney's going to really buy the team in a year. It's okay.
As far as I'm concerned, as long as the Jays don't have to face Justin Lowe for the whole year, I'll be fine. Like, he is he could be the biggest Jay killer ever. And he does it to everybody. Actually, he's quite a good baseball player.
Is what it is. So our buddy Cullen in the comments making unfortunately that there will only be one more juice box left in Major League Baseball is because Tropicana Field is the only one named after juice anymore. After Minute Maid Park is no longer Minute Maid Park.
Thanks, Cullen.
Always our best stats guy with all the way too deep. Like I watched Little Big League the other night, and he always reminds me of he's got those stats that are like it's closed in the dome at night when he faces a pitcher the first time, and it's just like stat deep. Good job, Colin. Go ahead.
Man, I like that. Like, this is the thing. So I'm just gonna say some things about the Yankees now. That's not Yankee Stadium, brought to you by I don't know what like
AT&T.
AT&T, right?
Yeah,
and there's no bad phase of Yankees logo. They don't have dark days of logo. They do stay consistent, and they root their brand and their identity in something that I guess they refuse to sell out on, and I like that. I miss the days of the Sky Dome. Every time I feel like the stadiums are named something different. Every time. Like we have one here. It was the Air Canada Center. Then it was something else. I don't know where the Raptors play. The Leafs they play. I don't know what it's called. It changes every 2 years. So anyway, kudos to the Yankees for not selling out all the way.
You know what? Everyone hates on us for living in the past, but like our entire existence is rooted in nostalgia and history, right? Like
a great history.
But one of my pain points of living in Denver was I never knew what Mile High State, like it will never not be Mile High to people who like are from there, right? But every freaking other year it's something different. I don't even know what it is now. So there's that.
So in the weirdest rebranding of all time too, my National League team has always been the Milwaukee Brewers because it's been one of the weirdest things that I was like, I'm going here. I was there for work randomly, and it just only cemented that is my National League team. They tailgate like it's a football game for baseball games, 82 home games a year. And I was like, okay, I feel home being a Bills fan. So in the midst of this, that has always been Miller Park since they moved from, County Stadium. And the last few years, it's been American Family Insurance Field, basically. And it's like, oh my God, come on. That was a beer ballpark. Their City Connects literally say Brew Crew on it. And you took a sponsorship away from a beer company? Come on.
That is a hard turn from beer to American Family. It's American Family now.
Yeah. So all things crazy. So I guess the bigger question is, what do the crystal ball looks like this season for the, what's going on in the American League East? Let's just talk some bold predictions. I don't care what team they're affiliated with, what you want to chit chat on. Jason's going to probably, now that he knows that Cedric Mullins is on the Rays, he's going to be like, oh, MVP. He's going to be back. He's going to be just like he was a few years ago with the Orioles. So on that note, let's just go around the table, chit chat some last few minutes thing here as we got about, 10 minutes left on the clock. And just to be this person, because I haven't done that, this segment will be brought to you by our friends, Jay Birdie, that are our wonderful apparel brand that our buddy Daryl is always on the show and reps an amazing clothing brand for all things Canadian baseball. So bold prediction time. Who wants to go first? Go, Liz.
Liz.
Okay. Let's take it back. So I was on I think I was on an Orioles podcast or Boston podcast. I was a guest on their podcast, and they were talking about predicting the season. And I said the Jays were going to be a little bit above 500. And they laughed at me. No, they laughed at me. How they laughed at me. And we weren't. We were great. We won the division. And so you never know where you're going to be or how things are going to happen. That's baseball. It's wild times. But I think this is what I think. I think I'm just going to do sections of the division. I think it's going to be Yankees, Jays, top half. I think unless our friends with the Orioles get really hot. And then fuck Tampa. They can stay at the bottom. with my friends, the Red Sox. But that's it. Like, man, the season's so long and scrambly. You don't know what's going to happen. Anything can happen.
And that's why we're going to have so much fun just saying random stupid things. That's why it's shenanigans. And then you get to come back to this like a year later and go, see, I was completely out of my mind, or I was completely right.
Dude, I will predict there will be 162 games. I will drink too many beers, and I will high five my friends. Let's go.
Yep. And I'll be right there with you, hopefully.
And hopefully I make it to a game this year. I know it's a long drag, but I'd like to make it. My bold prediction, I feel like the division is going to play out similarly that it did to this year. My hope in my very narrow little baseball mind is that it's Jays Yankees again, because that was about the most fun I had all year. Just incredible baseball.
I was so stressed out. It was a disaster.
The question remains: like, does Vladdy now? Does he now, like? I know there's always going to be vitriol towards Red Sox fans, but now does Vladdy now own the? Like, is he the king of vitriol now? Like, with the Yankees lose and all that other stuff, like, is he just going to get booed out of the stadium every single time he played?
He feeds off of that. They should start cheering him and do like what they did for Trey Turner in Philadelphia, where he was having a bad time, and they're like, "Hey, instead of booing him, why don't we turn this one around?" And he.
My bold call is on the other side. I think a different team than the National League is going to be in the World Series next year, not the Dodgers.
No.
There is a bold prediction. We already got some flying around in the comment section. So as we're, I'm watching you, Joanna, and ammo up there. We got Jays win 100 in the comments. That's pretty bold. Have we ever won 100 wins in a season? I don't think we have.
No,
even in 92, 93, I think we won literally 92 and 93. I know the Yankees have had that in a season. And we always got, the typical Go Jays Go here and all that kind of good stuff going on in the comments. So appreciate y'all. If you got any other bold predictions, hit us up before you end the show.
I don't know. The Beast of the East, I get nervous. Let's see how things play out, man. Talk to me after the All-Star break.
Joe, what do you think?
Are you asking me?
Yeah. What do you think?
My prediction is that I'm going to be irrationally thrilled about the team at some point. It's probably going to be like May or so. And then in July, I will be like, sell the team.
Every year.
And then
you and Liz are the same.
September, I'll be excited again. So that's my prediction. And that's all I got.
Yep.
That's all I got. Because I am not I'm not gonna
don't want to jinx it.
Same. Yeah.
Knock on desk. It's gonna be okay.
I remember last year, right at the end of the season, our bullpen started being terrible, and I was like, "This is the worst. We're not gonna make it. Everything's awful. Burn it all down." And then a week later, I was fine.
Yeah, you always are, Liz.
Yeah. So just to make the goof here, I got this in the comments from our stat guy, Colin.
Okay.
And then about the 100-win thing. And then I got the reply.
99. There you go.
99. We missed it by
games?
See, this is the best part about this job. We don't even have to do research anymore. We just get Colin to do our research and
but that's my prediction.
Make up wild stuff.
Yeah.
Always fact checked by our wonderful friends in the cheap seats in the 500 level. Go ahead, Liz. I see it.
Oh no, my thing. I'm so superstitious, like monkey's paw shit, that if we won 100 games, we'll get beat out in the first round.
Yeah, that would be our luck. So
I don't
good
want
stuff. So on that note, and just for my bold prediction, I think to Jason's point, the division is going to play out eerily similar, but somebody is going to usurp that third spot. And I do think for some reason, and it's the Rays comments and the things we were talking about, them finally having a home again and not being in, Steinbrenner minor league stadium out in
Don't
Tampa.
Give them your field, Yankees. Why would you do that? They're not our friends.
They didn't do anything to help us out. Like, the agreement was they were supposed to beat you guys so we could win the division, and they didn't do their job.
They ever did not. Yeah.
The Red Sox were the only ones that really even put up a fight on that one. I think we split the season series with the Red Sox this past year, and it was because we played them mostly early in the year when Garrett Crochet was just freaking throwing darts and everything. So, but that's the bold prediction for me, that we're going to have some sneaky competition from the Rays this year, because they were certain levels of irrelevant. And I think a lot of that was the displacement, the oddities, and everything that was going on with that team last year. And they always have a way of raking in new top prospects. To Jason's point, the pictureless wonders that are on their current roster, they're going to find a way to hit. They're going to find a way to pitch. And it's going to drive all of our fandoms completely batshit crazy. So, all right. So I guess it's shameless self-promoting time. I guess we got to hear all the wonders that is the Babes Media. So, Liz.
Thanks, guys. So yeah, no, you can follow me on Instagram, Babes Media, and then I'm in the comments over here, 90s Yanks Kid. I don't know where the 64 came from. I have no freaking clue. I don't know. Maybe that was a big year for like Mantle or Maris or something. Honestly, I don't know where the 64 came from. But anyway, on Twitter, I'm at 90s Yanks Kid.
There you go. So,
and we might argue a little bit on there.
Way to go. Let's go.
So what's your latest work thing that you got going on for Babes Media? What you up to?
Yeah, well, so I didn't mention that I'm also the baseball content lead for On New Jersey Sports. So over there, I just covered the MLB winter meetings, which was an amazing experience. Many of you will be shocked to know that I shook John Schneider's hand and congratulated him on an excellent season. I don't even know where that came from. After that, I was like, who am I? Did I just do that? Like,
yeah, that's hard. That's hard. Yeah,
it was.
I think you're realizing that Yankees fans can be regular, nice people too.
True, guys.
It's possible.
Don't have bad eggs. That's the way that it is. And we all get a little defensive of our teams, but I do respect that. Yeah.
Wait, was there any gossip? Did you learn anything at the winter meetings that any gossip come through?
The only thing I learned, was the Don Mattingly to the Phillies thing, which
was that weird?
At the time, they were in serious talks. They were in serious talks that day that it was going to happen that day. And then nothing happened. Wow. Nothing happened. And I even put a tweet out, and I just looked like an idiot because people were like, huh? Like, when's this happening?
I don't even remember.
So yeah, then a month later, it gets announced. But that was really kind of the only thing. The meetings, not a lot happened, to be honest. I'm trying to think, the Schwarber thing happened while we were there, but that was about it.
But that's one of those things that's on my bucket list, because there's all the other things that go on about, just to try to, there's the, baseball jobs convention. There's a lot of other people. All the Blue Jays announcers always go, the minor league guys included, who have been on this show that we love, and things like that. You just probably got to your point, shake hands with people like John Schneider and rub elbows and have a good time just talking baseball, right?
One day we will be legitimate media, Craig. One day you and I and Liz will be legitimate media and be able to do fun stuff like that.
I'm still not legit. Let's be honest.
Well, you are.
Did you have a press pass? If you had a press pass, you were ready. You were there.
Yeah,
I did. Yeah. I did.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we got to tailgate people and follow them, and it's okay. I got to.
That's fun.
I'll be doing that in spring training this year. That's what I'm working on.
Me too.
So there you go.
We'll see. We'll be down there goofing around, having fun. So if you find yourself down in Clearwater, I will be down there mid-March.
I will
grab
be
a
there
beer and talk some baseball.
Yeah, let's link up if we're there at the same time.
You know what we could do? We could do a show. Just throwing it out there, where I was in Arizona at spring training and you guys were in Clearwater at spring training, and I could set up at the Dodgers. They have pretty good access. Mariners have really good access. I could walk right to the field, basically.
Jason, I feel like you're just trying to do this thing where you're trying to get the high five from afar going.
Yes.
TikTok meme.
Yeah. That one owl one off.
Come to Clearwater too.
Oh, it's a beautiful time down there. I've been going the last few years. I've been slacking because since COVID, it's just been crazy around here and everything like that. But I had friends that lived and went to college with and everything down in the Dunedin area, Clearwater area. So I just would go down there and hang out with them in the spring. And then in the fall, I'd go down and, drink with them on a beach because nobody was there in October.
When pitchers and catchers report? When is the date of the pitchers and catchers reporting?
33 days. It was on there a minute ago.
I was going to say 3 weeks or 4 weeks from now.
That's so soon.
So, but it's going to be a fun time. And to that point, we are very, very happy that we had you on this evening to talk baseball and talk American League East. So thank you very much for joining us in the Barroom Chat.
Thanks for having me, guys. Good luck to you on your season. Yeah, we'll run into each other for sure.
Yes, we will.
There you go. Feel free to hang out for one moment after we sign off here. I forgot to tell you a few things before the show, but thank you very, very much, everybody. Wonderful time in the chat with all of us here this evening. This is the Barroom Chat for the Toronto Blue Jays fans and apparently just baseball in general tonight. So thank you very much. We'll talk to you soon. And next week, make sure you join us. We are going to have former Major League player Zach Lutz is going to be on the show to talk all things just youth sports, how to get in their mental game, how to block out the noise and the scam that has become youth sports a little bit. So make sure you join us to talk with Zach Lutz and get ready for that. And then we also have a special episode in brewing. We had that weird moment last week where Shane Told was going to be on for New Year's from Silverstein, the band. He is rescheduled. We're going to have him back on Friday the 16th as well. So make sure you join us for that chat, and we're going to talk all things Blue Jays with him.
What about our breaking news? Who did we
just
get?
Breaking news? Who did we
breaking
news?
Who do we just we got the new hitting coach.
We have one of the new hitting instructors joining us for the Toronto Blue Jays. That's going to be Mr. Asuna is going to be on the job.
Cool,
so Marcos Asuna is going to be joining us the following week. And then our friend Taylor is going to be joining us to talk Baseball Town in between show too.
This is true.
So
we got people, and this is
for January.
This is where I mostly learn who's on the show, and it sounds pretty fun.
Me too.
And I'll be there too.
We also do our show. So not only do we
let the
public do all our research, but this is where we find out our show prep for the next 3 weeks. So this is great. I'm taking notes. Even
appreciate you.
All right, let go.
So, cheers, everybody, and as always, let's go Blue Jays.
Woo!
Thank you for listening to the Jaybird Watching Podcast. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch at BirdwatchingGC, and our YouTube channel. If you want to support the show and get extra content, please consider donating to our Patreon at patreon.com/birdwatchinggc. Go Jays, go.
Woo!